The subway doors hiss shut behind him. Selim Ardent stands in the rattling car wearing a hoodie 3 years past its prime, scuffed sneakers that could belong to any college dropout, and jeans with a frayed hem dragging against the floor. Around him, Manhattan rushes past in blurred streaks of neon and glass. A woman clutches her purse tighter when he shifts his weight. A teenager scrolls past luxury watch ads without looking up. Nobody recognizes the man who moved $18 million through 3 shell companies this morning before noon. He checks his phone. The message glows against the dim subway light. Café Marlowe, Boston, 7 p.m. Her name is Riven. Selim deletes it. He always deletes them. The train jerks forward. His reflection stares back from the blackened window, sharp jawline, eyes that carry too much silence, hands that haven't touched another person with intention in 6 months. He knows what people see when they look at him like this. They see struggle. They see someone who splits rent with roommates, someone who eats ramen 4 nights a week, someone whose future is a question mark instead of a guarantee. They never see the penthouse in Tribeca. They never see the offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands holding generational wealth. They never see the meetings where governors ask for his opinion before signing legislation. That's exactly the point. Hi viewers, kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is. Selim steps off at Park Street. The evening air smells like roasted nuts and exhaust fumes. He walks 3 blocks to a coffee shop where the paint peels near the doorframe and the menu is handwritten in chalk. Inside, couples lean across small tables. A barista wipes down the espresso machine with the tired rhythm of someone who's done it 1,000 times. He orders black coffee, sits in the corner, waits. This is his Friday ritual. Blind dates arranged by acquaintances who think they're helping a consultant scrape by in an expensive city. They don't know he owns the building 2 blocks south. They don't know his watch is a $40 Casio, because wearing a Rolex would end the experiment before it begins. The door opens, a woman walks in, mid-30s, nervous smile. She scans the room until her eyes land on him. He watches her posture shift when she registers the hoodie, the cheap sneakers, the lack of polish. Her smile thins. She sits down anyway. You must be Selim. Yeah, I'm Shanice. The conversation moves like clockwork. She asks what he does. He says consulting work, nothing glamorous. She asks where he lives. He says he's between places, crashing with a friend in Queens. Her answers get shorter. Her phone comes out twice. She glances at the time. 15 minutes in, she excuses herself to the bathroom and doesn't come back. Selim finishes his coffee alone. He's used to it. Outside, the city hums with 1,000 lives intersecting and splitting apart. Selim pulls his hood up and walks toward the subway. His phone buzzes. Next Friday, different city, new name. He doesn't respond, he never does. But tonight something feels different. Something sits wrong in his chest, like a bone that healed crooked. He stops at the edge of the sidewalk, staring at the message. The traffic light turns red, then green, then red again. He thinks about Shanice. He thinks about the 12 women before her. He thinks about the pattern that repeats every single week, interest, then doubt, then disappearance. He's testing them. He knows that. He's filtering out the ones who love his bank account more than his silence at midnight. But what happens when everyone fails the test? What happens when you're so good at hiding that nobody can find you, even when you want to be found? Selim deletes the message. He boards the train heading back to Manhattan. Around him, people stare at their phones, lost in their own worlds. Nobody looks at him. Nobody ever does. The train rocks through the tunnel. His reflection flickers in the window again. This time, he sees something he hasn't allowed himself to notice in months. He looks lonely. Not broke, not struggling, just alone. The text he deleted reappears in his mind. Next Friday, different city, new name. He already knows how it will end. She'll smile when he walks in. She'll ask the right questions. Then she'll see the hoodie, the cheap coffee, the lack of ambition written into every carefully chosen detail, and she'll leave. They always leave. Except he doesn't know that next Friday won't be in New York. It won't be in a coffee shop with peeling paint. And the person walking through that door won't be looking for money. They'll be looking for something far more dangerous. The train screeches to a halt, doors open. Selim steps onto the platform and disappears into the crowd. Somewhere in Boston, a file is being prepared. A name is being typed into a scheduler. A decision is being made that will unravel every system Selim Ardent spent 5 years building. But he doesn't know that yet. He won't know until the cafe door opens and the entire room goes silent. Selim owns 17 properties across 4 states. None of them feel like home. The Tribeca penthouse has floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Hudson River. The furniture is Italian. The kitchen has a sub-zero fridge he's opened 3 times in 2 years. Every surface gleams. Every corner is optimized. It looks like a photo spread in Architectural Digest. He hates it. Monday morning, he stands in front of his closet. On the left, tailored suits from Savile Row, shirts that cost more than most people's monthly rent, shoes handcrafted in Florence. On the right, hoodies, jeans, sneakers bought from outlet malls in New Jersey. He reaches for the right side. His phone vibrates. A name flashes across the screen, Dontrell. Yeah. We need you in the office. Singapore deal is stalling. Selim buttons a faded denim shirt. Handle it. They're asking for you specifically. Tell them I'm unavailable. For how long? Indefinitely. Silence, then, you're doing the broke thing again, aren't you? Selim hangs up. He grabs his keys, not to the Tesla in the private garage, but to a 2015 Honda Civic he bought off Craigslist for $4,000. It has a dent in the rear bumper and smells faintly of fast food. Perfect. The drive to Queens takes 40 minutes. He parks outside a building where laundry hangs from fire escapes and kids play basketball in a cracked driveway. Nobody here knows he's worth more than their entire block. Inside his crash space, a studio apartment he rents under fake name, Selim sits on a futon and opens his laptop. The screen fills with spreadsheets, offshore accounts, investment portfolios that shift millions every second. He closes it after 5 minutes. The blind date system started 3 years ago. Back then, he'd just ended a relationship with a woman named Simone. She was smart, beautiful, ambitious. She said she loved him. Then his name appeared in Forbes, and suddenly she loved his connections more. She loved the restaurant reservations he could secure, the charity galas where governors shook his hand, the private jets to Aspen. She never loved the silence he carried at 3 in the morning when the world went quiet, and he didn't know who he was without the money. So he built the test. Find someone who wants him when he has nothing. Find someone who stays when the illusion of wealth evaporates. Find someone who sees past the surface. 3 years, 42 dates, 0 successes. Selim's phone buzzes again, different number. Date confirmed, Friday, Boston, Café Marlowe, 7 p.m. He stares at the message. Something about it feels wrong. The organizer usually gives him more details: occupation, interests, mutual connections. This one is bare, just a name. Riven. He types back, Maury info. The response takes 3 minutes. You'll see. Selim sets the phone down. Outside, the city moves without him. Sirens wail in the distance. A couple argues on the street below. Somewhere, a market closes and wealth shifts from one pocket to another. He thinks about calling it off. He thinks about ending the whole experiment. What's the point of testing people if the test itself is the problem? What if he's not filtering out gold diggers? What if he's just filtering out everyone? But he doesn't call it off. Because deep down, underneath the logic and the systems, and the carefully constructed disguise, there's a part of him that still believes someone will pass. Someone will sit across from him in a coffee shop, see the hoodie and the scuffed sneakers, and stay anyway. Someone will ask about his silence instead of his salary. Someone will touch his hand and mean it. He just hasn't found them yet. Friday comes fast. Selim boards a train to Boston. The car is half empty. A man in a suit talks too loud on his phone about quarterly projections. A teenager sleeps with headphones leaking bass. Selim watches the landscape blur past, trees, towns, industrial parks. His phone buzzes. She's different, trust me. He doesn't recognize the number. He doesn't respond. The train pulls into South Station at 6:30. Selim walks through the terminal, past businessmen dragging luggage, past tourists studying maps, past a woman selling flowers near the exit. The air smells like diesel and fried dough. Café Marlowe sits between a bookstore and a boutique displaying Chanel handbags in the window, the kind of place where people pretend not to notice price tags. Selim pushes the door open. A bell chimes. The room is warm, low lighting, wooden tables. A couple in the corner shares a dessert. The barista looks up, nods. Selim orders black coffee, finds a table near the window, sits. 7 o'clock passes, then 7:15. He's about to leave when the door opens. The room doesn't gasp, it doesn't stop, but something shifts. The couple in the corner glances up. The barista pauses mid-pour. Even the music seems to dip for half a second. A man walks in, visibly pregnant, 7 months, maybe more. He wears a loose coat over a simple sweater, jeans, boots that have seen better days. His hand rests on his stomach, not hiding it, not flaunting it, just holding it like it's the most natural thing in the world. His eyes scan the room. They land on Selim. He walks over, sits down without asking. "You're Salem." "It's not a question." "Yeah, I'm Riven." The silence stretches. Selim doesn't know what to say. Every script he's practiced for 3 years evaporates. The test, the system, the carefully planned questions, all of it becomes irrelevant. Because Riven isn't looking at his hoodie. He isn't calculating net worth or scanning for status symbols. He's looking at Selim like he already knows something nobody else does. And that's when Selim realizes this isn't a blind date. Riven's hand never leaves his stomach, not when he sits, not when the barista approaches, not when Selim stares too long and has to look away. "I know what you're thinking," Riven says. His voice is calm, steady, the kind of steady that comes from surviving things that should have broken him. Selim sets his coffee down. "I doubt that. You're wondering why I showed up. Actually, I'm wondering why you're here at all." Riven leans back, the chair creaks. Around them, the cafe has returned to its rhythm, quiet conversations, the hiss of the espresso machine, someone typing on a laptop in the corner, but the couple near the window keeps glancing over. A woman by the door whispers to her friend. Riven notices, he always notices. "They think I'm a scandal," he says. "Are you?" "Depends who you ask." Selim doesn't know how to respond to that. In 3 years of blind dates, nobody has ever started a conversation by acknowledging the judgment in the room. Most people pretend it doesn't exist. They smile too much, laugh too loud, perform normalcy until the awkwardness fades. Riven doesn't perform anything. "The person who set this up," Selim says carefully, "didn't mention you were pregnant. Would you have come if they did?" Honest question, honest answer. "I don't know." Riven nods like that's exactly what he expected. "I'm 7 months along. The father is gone. The family he comes from is worse than gone. And the lawyers circling my life right now would make your head spin." That's a hell of an opening line. "I don't believe in wasting time." The barista brings Riven water without being asked. He thanks her. She lingers half a second too long, eyes flicking to his stomach, then back to his face. Riven waits until she's gone before speaking again. "I didn't come here for sympathy, or money, or whatever people usually want from men like you." Selim goes still. "Men like me. The kind who dress poor but sit like they own the room." The words land like a slap, not cruel, just accurate. Selim's first instinct is to deny it. His second instinct is to leave. But something about the way Riven says it, no accusation, no judgment, just observation, keeps him in the chair. "Why did you come?" Selim asks. Riven looks out the window. The street outside is filling with evening foot traffic. People in long coats, people carrying shopping bags from stores they can't afford, people pretending their lives are simpler than they are. "Because someone told me you were different," Riven says. "They said you test people, you pretend to be broke to see who stays." Selim's chest tightens. "Who told you that?" "Does it matter?" "Yeah, it does." Riven turns back to him. His eyes are dark brown, exhausted, but sharp. The kind of sharp that comes from reading people fast because survival depends on it. "I didn't come to pass your test," Riven says. "I came because I wanted to meet someone who understands what it's like to hide." The air between them shifts. Selim feels something crack in his chest, not breaking, just shifting, like a bone that's been set wrong for years and finally moved back into place. "I'm not hiding," Selim says. "Yes, you are. You don't know me." "I know enough." Riven's hand moves across his stomach. The gesture is unconscious, protective. Selim watches it and realizes something he's never noticed in 42 dates. Vulnerability isn't weakness. It's just honesty without armor. "The father," Selim says. "What happened?" Riven's jaw tightens. He's from a family in New Jersey. Old money. The kind that thinks people are assets or liabilities. When I told him I was pregnant, he called his lawyers before he called me back. "Why?" "Because an omega pregnancy complicates inheritance. His family has rules, bloodlines. Scandals get buried, not acknowledged." So he just left. He didn't just leave, he tried to erase me. The words hang in the air. Selim doesn't ask for details. He can already see the shape of it: leaked stories, manipulated narratives, legal threats wrapped in polite language. That's why you're here, Selim says slowly. You needed to meet someone who wouldn't judge. No, Riven says. I needed to meet someone who might understand what it's like when the world decides you're worth less than the secrets you carry. Selim doesn't answer. He can't, because Riven just described the last 5 years of his life in one sentence. The barista dims the lights. The couple by the window pays their bill and leaves. Outside, the streetlights flicker on. Boston glows in shades of amber and shadow. Riven stands. I should go. Wait. Riven pauses. His hand is still on his stomach. His coat hangs open. There's a small stain near the collar, coffee, maybe, or something else. It's such a human detail that Selim almost forgets the rest of the world exists. Can I walk you out? Selim asks. Riven studies him for a long moment, then nods. They step outside together. The cold hits immediately. Riven pulls his coat tighter. Selim notices he doesn't have gloves. His fingers are red from the chill. You don't have to pretend with me, Riven says suddenly. Pretend what? That you're broke, that you're ordinary, that you're not exactly the kind of alpha who could fix my life with one phone call. Selim stops walking. How do you? I told you, someone warned me about your test. They also told me who you really are. The street feels too quiet, too empty. Selim's pulse picks up, not from fear, but from the sudden realization that his entire system just collapsed. Then why are you here? He asks. Riven turns to face him fully. The streetlight casts half his face in shadow. When he speaks, his voice is softer than before. Because I wanted to see if you'd tell me the truth anyway. Selim doesn't know what to say. Every response feels like a trap. Every word feels like it could undo something fragile that just started building between them. I wasn't planning to, Selim admits. I know. Does that bother you? No, Riven says, it makes you human. A taxi passes. Someone shouts from a bar down the block. The world keeps moving, indifferent to the shift happening on this sidewalk. Riven starts walking again. Selim follows. Where are you staying? Selim asks. A hotel near the station. Let me get you a car. I can take the train. I know you can, but let me do this anyway. Riven stops, looks at him, then nods. Selim pulls out his phone, not the cheap burner he uses for blind dates, but the real one. The screen lights up with notifications from investment firms, offshore accounts, messages from people whose names show up in news headlines. He types fast. A black car pulls up 3 minutes later. Riven stares at it, then at Selim. This isn't a test anymore, is it? Riven asks. No, Selim says, I don't think it ever was. Riven opens the car door, pauses, looks back. If we do this again, he says, I need to know something first. What? Are you helping me because you want to, or because you need to feel like you can fix someone? The question cuts deeper than anything else tonight. Selim doesn't have an answer. Riven gets in the car, the door closes, the vehicle pulls away, taillights disappearing into the Boston night. Selim stands alone on the sidewalk, hands in his pockets, staring at the space where Riven was standing. His phone buzzes. A single message, unknown number. You just met the one person who will ruin everything you've built, and you won't be able to stop it. Selim doesn't sleep that night. He sits in the Tribeca penthouse, staring at the city below, replaying every word Riven said. I wanted to see if you'd tell me the truth anyway. The skyline glitters like scattered diamonds. Somewhere out there, Riven is in a hotel room, hand on his stomach, probably wondering if meeting Selim was a mistake. Selim's phone sits on the glass table. The message from the unknown number is still there. You just met the one person who will ruin everything you've built. He should delete it. He should block the number. He should walk away from Riven before whatever this is becomes something he can't control. Instead, he opens a new message. Can we meet again? He sends it to the number Riven used earlier, then he waits. 3 minutes pass, 5, 10. The reply comes at 2 in the morning. Connecticut, Monday, I'll send the address. Selim exhales. He didn't realize he was holding his breath. Monday morning, he drives north. The address Riven sent leads to a bookstore in Hartford. Small, independent, the kind of place where hardcovers are stacked in uneven piles and the owner knows every customer by name. Riven is already inside when Selim arrives. He's sitting in a corner near the poetry section, a notebook open on his lap. He doesn't look up when Selim walks in. Selim sits across from him. You write? I design, Riven says. Freelance work, branding, websites, things people need but don't want to pay for. That why you're in Connecticut? I go wherever the Wi-Fi is free and the chairs don't hurt my back. Selim notices the laptop bag beside Riven's chair, worn canvas, a logo peeling off the front, nothing expensive, nothing designed to impress. You didn't have to come, Riven says. I wanted to. Why? Because I don't know what this is yet, and I want to find out. Riven closes the notebook. This can't be what you think it is. What do I think it is? A project, a problem you can solve, a person you can save. Selim leans back. Is that what you think I want? Isn't it? The question sits between them like a third person at the table. Selim knows the answer. He's known it since Boston. He spent 5 years running from intimacy by pretending to search for it, and now someone is calling him out. I don't know what I want, Selim admits, but I know I want to keep seeing you. Riven's expression doesn't change. I'm 7 months pregnant with a child whose father's trying to erase me from public record. I have legal threats coming in twice a week. I can't afford to be someone's emotional experiment. I'm not experimenting. Then what are you doing? Selim doesn't have an answer, not one that makes sense, not one that doesn't sound like every bad excuse he's heard from other people. Riven stands. I need to work. Can I stay? Why? Because I don't want to leave. Riven studies him, then nods. Don't talk, I need to focus. Selim stays quiet. Riven opens his laptop and starts typing. The bookstore hums with low conversation. Someone browses the mystery section. A kid asks his mom if they can buy a graphic novel. Selim watches Riven work, the way his fingers move across the keyboard, the way he pauses to rub his stomach when the baby kicks, the way he frowns at the screen like he's solving a puzzle only he can see. 2 hours pass. Riven closes the laptop. You're still here, he says. Yeah. Most people get bored. I'm not bored. Riven packs his laptop. I'm going to Illinois next week. There's a client meeting I can't miss. Can I come? Why would you do that? Because I want to. Riven shakes his head. You don't even know me. I know enough. You know nothing. You know I'm pregnant. You know I have legal problems. You know I work freelance. That's not knowing someone. That's knowing their resume. Selim stands. Then let me know more. Riven looks at him for a long moment. Then he walks toward the door. Selim follows. Outside, the air is crisp. Fall is settling into winter. Leaves crunch underfoot. Riven pulls his coat tighter. If you come to Illinois, Riven says, you need to understand something. What? I'm not looking for a hero. I'm not looking for someone to fix my life. I'm looking for someone who won't make it worse. I won't. You don't know that. Neither do you. Riven almost smiles, almost. The client meeting is Thursday, he says. I'll send you the address. Selim nods. Riven walks away. Selim watches until he disappears around the corner. His phone buzzes. Another message, same unknown number. He's hiding something, and when you find out what it is, you'll wish you never met him. Selim deletes it, then blocks the number. But the words stay in his mind. Thursday comes. Selim flies to Chicago. The meeting is in a coworking space downtown. Glass walls, standing desks, people in casual business attire pretending the hierarchy doesn't exist. Riven is already there when Selim arrives. He's sitting across from a woman in her 40s, showing her something on his laptop. The woman nods, smiles, shakes his hand. The meeting ends. Riven sees Selim and walks over. You actually came, Riven says. I said I would. People say a lot of things. They leave the coworking space together. The city is loud, taxis honking, construction somewhere close, a street performer playing violin near the train station. Where are you staying? Selim asks. I'm taking the train back tonight. Stay. Why? Because I want to take you to dinner. Riven stops walking. This isn't a date. I know. Then what is it? I don't know yet, but I want to find out. Riven looks at him, really looks, like he's trying to see past the words into whatever truth is hiding underneath. One dinner, Riven says, then I'm leaving. Deal. They eat at a small Italian place in Lincoln Park. No reservations, no fancy plating, just good food and low lighting and the kind of atmosphere where people forget to check their phones. Riven orders pasta. Selim orders the same. They don't talk much at first, just eat, just exist in the same space without needing to fill it with noise. Then Riven speaks. The father's name is Tobias, he says quietly. We met 2 years ago. He said all the right things. He made me believe I mattered. Selim sets his fork down. Then I got pregnant, Riven continues. And suddenly I didn't matter anymore. I was a complication, a scandal, something that needed to be handled. What did he do? He offered money, a lot of money, enough to disappear and never speak his name again. You didn't take it. No. Why not? Riven's hand moves to his stomach, because this child deserves better than being a secret. The weight of that statement settles over the table. Selim feels something shift in his chest again. Not pity, not sympathy, just respect. I could help, Selim says carefully. I know you could. But you don't want me to. I want you to want to help for the right reasons. What are the right reasons? Riven looks at him. I don't know yet, but I'll know when I see them. They finish dinner in silence. Outside, the city is cooling down. Streetlights flicker on. A couple walks past holding hands. Somewhere, a car alarm goes off. Riven stands. I need to catch the train. Let me drive you. You don't have to. I know, but let me anyway. Riven nods. They walk to Selim's car, not the Honda this time. The Tesla. Riven notices but doesn't comment. The drive to Union Station takes 20 minutes. They don't talk. The radio plays low. Riven stares out the window. When they arrive, Riven opens the door, pauses. Thank you, he says. For what? For not trying to fix me. Selim doesn't know what to say to that. Riven gets out, walks toward the station entrance, then stops, turns back. There's something you should know, Riven says. What? The person who set up our first date, they didn't do it to help you, they did it to test me. Test you how? To see if I'd fall for someone like you. Why? Riven's expression hardens. Because someone wants to prove I'm exactly what they say I am, a gold digger, a scandal, a mistake. Before Selim can respond, Riven walks inside. Selim sits in the car, engine running, staring at the station entrance. His phone buzzes. A new message, different number. You're being watched, and so is he. The first article appears on a gossip site Selim has never heard of. The headline is simple. Pregnant Omega targets wealthy alphas in multi-state dating scheme. There's a photo, Riven outside the bookstore in Connecticut, another one near the train station in Chicago. The images are grainy but unmistakable. Selim reads the article twice. It's vicious. It calls Riven a con artist. It implies he's running a scam, targeting successful men across the country. It mentions the pregnancy but twists it into ammunition, says he's using the child to trap people into financial commitments. Every word is a lie. Every sentence is designed to destroy. Selim's phone rings. He answers without checking the caller ID. Did you see it? Riven's voice is tight, controlled, but Selim can hear the fracture underneath. Yeah, I saw it. It's already spreading. Someone sent it to my client. She's reconsidering the contract. Who did this? I don't know, but they have photos from Connecticut and Illinois. They've been following me. Selim's jaw tightens. Where are you? Florida. I had a meeting in Miami. I'm at a cafe near the waterfront. Stay there, I'm coming. You don't have to. I'm already on my way. Selim hangs up. He books a flight. Private jet, wheels up in 40 minutes. The flight to Miami takes 3 hours. Selim spends the entire time on his laptop, tracing the source of the article. The website is registered through a shell company in Delaware. The author is listed as anonymous. The IP address routes through servers in 6 different countries. Professional, expensive, deliberate. Someone is funding this. Selim lands at Miami International. A car is waiting. He gives the driver the address Riven sent. The cafe sits on a corner overlooking Biscayne Bay. The water is flat and blue. Tourists walk past with shopping bags. A street musician plays guitar near a bench. Riven is inside, sitting alone, laptop closed, hands folded on the table. Selim sits across from him. "You came," Riven says. "I said I would. People say a lot of things." Selim doesn't respond to that. He's learning when to talk and when to just be present. "They're trying to destroy me," Riven says quietly, "and I don't even know who they are. I'm going to find out." "How?" "I have resources." "Resources won't fix this. The story is already out there. People are already believing it. Then we'll make them believe something else." Riven looks at him. "You can't just throw money at this." "I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about the truth. The truth doesn't matter when the lie is more interesting." Selim leans forward. "Do you trust me?" Riven hesitates. "I don't know you well enough to trust you." "Then trust that I won't let this stand." Riven's hand moves to his stomach. The baby kicks. He winces, then smiles, just for a second, like he's apologizing to the child for the stress. "There's more," Riven says. "I got a message this morning from a law firm in New Jersey. They're representing Tobias's family." "What did it say?" "They want me to sign a non-disclosure agreement. If I refuse, they'll file a lawsuit claiming I'm harassing their client." "That's extortion." "That's their strategy." Selim pulls out his phone. "What's the firm's name?" "Why?" "Because I'm going to shut them down." "You can't just." "Yes, I can. Give me the name." Riven stares at him for a long moment. Then he pulls out his phone and shows Selim the email. The firm is called Drake & Associates, based in Newark, specializes in reputation management and crisis control. Selim recognizes the name immediately. Valen Drake, old money, political connections, known for burying scandals before they reach the press. "I know him," Selim says. "Do you know the lawyer?" "I know the firm. They don't work for people, they work for power." Riven's expression hardens. "Then we're already losing." "No, we're not." Selim makes a call. It's answered on the second ring. "I need everything you have on Valen Drake," Selim says. "Financial records, client lists, every skeleton in every closet." The voice on the other end doesn't ask questions, just confirms. Selim hangs up, looks at Riven. "This is going to get worse before it gets better," Selim says, "but I need you to trust me." "Why should I?" "Because I'm the only person in your life right now who isn't asking you to disappear." Riven's eyes glisten. He blinks it away fast. "I need to walk," he says. They leave the cafe together. The waterfront is crowded. Families, couples, people taking photos with the skyline in the background. Riven walks slowly. His hand never leaves his stomach. "Do you know what it's like," Riven says, "to carry a life inside you while the world tries to erase yours?" Selim doesn't answer, because he doesn't know, he can't know. "I wake up every day," Riven continues, "and I feel this child move, and I think I have to survive this, not for me, for them. But then I see articles like that, and I wonder if survival is enough." "It is." "How do you know?" "Because you're still here." Riven stops walking, turns to face him. "You don't understand what's coming," Riven says. "Drake doesn't just destroy people, he breaks them. He makes them wish they never existed." "Then he hasn't met me yet." Riven almost smiles, almost. They keep walking. The sun is setting. The sky turns orange and pink. The water reflects the light like glass. Then Riven's phone buzzes. He looks at the screen. His face goes pale. "What is it?" Selim asks. Riven shows him. Another article, bigger site, more traffic. The headline reads, "Pregnant Omega's secret meetings with Manhattan billionaire, romance or scam." There's a photo, Selim and Riven outside the cafe, today, less than an hour ago. Someone is watching them right now. Selim scans the area, tourists, street performers, a man in sunglasses sitting on a bench 50 feet away with a camera. Selim moves toward him, the man sees him coming, stands, starts walking fast. Selim follows, the man breaks into a run. Selim is faster, he catches him near the parking lot, grabs his shoulder, spins him around. "Who hired you?" Selim demands. The man doesn't answer, just smiles. Then Selim hears it, behind him, a sound he knows too well. He turns. Riven is on the ground, collapsed, hand on his stomach, eyes closed. People are gathering, someone is calling 911. A woman kneels beside him, checking his pulse. Selim runs, drops to his knees beside Riven. "Stay with me," Selim says. Riven's eyes flutter open. "I'm okay, just dizzy." "You're not okay." The ambulance arrives in 6 minutes. Paramedics load Riven onto a stretcher. Selim rides with him. At the hospital, they run tests: blood pressure, fetal heart rate, stress indicators. The doctor comes out after an hour. "He's stable," she says, "but the stress is dangerous. 3rd trimester fatigue combined with emotional strain. He needs rest, and he needs to avoid whatever is causing this." Selim nods, "Thank you." He goes back to Riven's room. Riven is sitting up, eyes tired but alert. "I'm sorry," Riven says. "For what?" "For dragging you into this." "You didn't drag me, I walked in on my own." Riven looks away. "You should leave, this is only going to get worse." "I'm not leaving." "Why not?" Selim sits on the edge of the bed. "Because you asked me if I wanted to help for the right reasons, and I finally know what they are." "What are they?" "I want to help because you deserve to exist without apologizing for it." Riven's eyes fill. This time he doesn't blink it away. Selim's phone buzzes, he ignores it. It buzzes again. He checks the screen. A message from the photographer, the one who ran. It's a photo, Selim kneeling beside Riven on the ground. The angle makes it look like Selim is the one who caused the collapse. The caption reads, "Coming soon." The photo goes viral in 4 hours. Selim kneeling beside Riven, the ambulance in the background. The caption reads, "Billionaire Alpha's pregnant victim collapses after confrontation." It's not true, none of it is true, but the internet doesn't care about truth, it cares about spectacle. Riven is discharged from the hospital at midnight. Selim takes him to a hotel in Coral Gables, not luxury, just clean, safe, anonymous. Riven sits on the edge of the bed, staring at his phone. The comments are vicious, people calling him a liar, a manipulator, a parasite. Some suggest the pregnancy is fake, others say he deserves whatever happens next. Selim takes the phone from his hands. "Stop reading." "I can't stop, they're everywhere." "Then let me handle it." "You can't handle the internet." "Watch me." Selim makes 3 calls. First to his attorney, second to a crisis management firm in Manhattan, third to a private investigator who specializes in digital forensics. By 3 in the morning, they have a lead. The photo was uploaded by a burner account registered in Newark, the same city where Drake and Associates operates. Selim shows Riven the evidence. This isn't random, someone is orchestrating this. "I already know who." "Drake." "Tobias." He hired Drake, and now Drake is doing what he does best, destroying people before they can fight back. Selim sits beside him. "We're going to stop him." "How?" "By exposing him first." Riven shakes his head. "You don't understand. Drake doesn't lose. He has judges in his pocket, reporters on his payroll, politicians who owe him favors. You can't just expose someone like that." "You can if you have leverage." "What leverage do you have?" Selim pulls up a file on his laptop. Drake's firm has been under investigation twice in the last 5 years. Financial irregularities, witness tampering. Both times the cases disappeared, but the evidence didn't. "How do you have this?" "I told you I have resources." Riven stares at the screen. This could destroy him. "That's the idea. But if we release it, he'll retaliate. He'll go after me harder. He'll go after the baby." Selim closes the laptop. "Then we don't release it yet. We use it as insurance. We let him know we have it, and we make him back off." Riven looks at him. You really think that will work? I think it's better than doing nothing. Outside, the city hums. Cars pass on the street below. A siren wails in the distance. The world keeps moving, indifferent to the war being fought in this hotel room. Riven stands, walks to the window. His reflection stares back at him, exhausted, pregnant, alone. I need to tell you something, Riven says quietly. What? The reason Tobias left wasn't just about the pregnancy. Selim waits. It was about control, Riven continues. His family has rules, bloodlines, inheritance clauses. If he acknowledged the baby, he'd lose access to a trust worth $300 million. So he chose money over his own child. He chose survival, at least that's what he told himself. Riven turns around, but here's the part I didn't tell you, I'm not the first. Selim goes still. What do you mean? Tobias has done this before, 3 other Omegas in the last 6 years, all pregnant, all erased, all paid off or silenced. How do you know that? Because one of them reached out to me after the first article dropped. She warned me. She said Drake is Tobias's cleanup crew, and once he starts, he doesn't stop until the problem is gone. Selim's chest tightens. Where is she now? I don't know. She disappeared after sending the message. The weight of that statement settles over the room. Selim feels something shift in his mind, not fear, but clarity. This isn't just about protecting Riven. This is about stopping a pattern that's been running for years. We need to find her, Selim says. Why? Because if she testifies, Drake's entire operation falls apart. She won't testify, she's terrified. Then we protect her, we protect all of them. Riven shakes his head. You're talking about going to war with people who have infinite resources. So do I. It's not the same. You have money, they have power. Then I'll use my money to take their power. Riven stares at him. Why are you doing this? Because it's the right thing to do. That's not an answer. Selim stands, walks over to him. You asked me once if I wanted to help for the right reasons. The right reason is this. I'm tired of watching people with power destroy people without it, and I'm done pretending I can't do anything about it. Riven's eyes search his face. You're going to get hurt. Probably. And you're okay with that. Are you? Riven doesn't answer. He just looks at Selim like he's trying to decide if he's real or just another illusion. Then his phone buzzes. Riven picks it up, reads the message. His face drains of color. What is it? Selim asks. Riven shows him. A video, 10 seconds long, shot from across the street outside a mall in Los Angeles. Luxury storefronts in the background, Gucci, Prada, Louis Vuitton. The video shows Riven walking out of a coffee shop. He looks tired. He's holding his stomach. Then he stumbles, his knees buckle. He grabs the wall to steady himself. People walk past, some stare, one person laughs, another pulls out their phone and starts recording. Selim watches Riven collapse in slow motion, watches the crowd turn into spectators instead of helpers. The video cuts off. The message underneath reads, "This is just the beginning." Selim looks at Riven. When did this happen? Yesterday, before I came to Miami. Why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't want you to think I was weak. You're not weak, you're being hunted. Riven sits down, his hands are shaking. They were waiting for me, they knew I'd be there, they set it up. Who sent you the video? Unknown number. Selim takes the phone, traces the message. It routes through the same servers as the article, same signature, same source. Drake. We're leaving, Selim says. Where are we going? Somewhere they can't follow. There's nowhere they can't follow. Selim pulls out his phone, makes a call. I need a secure location, East Coast, no digital footprint, no paper trail. The voice on the other end confirms. Selim hangs up, looks at Riven. Pack your things. I don't have things, just a laptop and some clothes. Then we leave now. They check out of the hotel at 4 in the morning. A black SUV is waiting outside. No logo, no plates visible from the street. Riven gets in, Selim follows. The driver doesn't speak, just drives. They head north, away from Miami, away from the city lights. into the flat darkness of central Florida. Riven stares out the window. Where are we going? Safe house off the grid. No one knows about it except me. How long do we stay? As long as it takes. As long as what takes? Selim looks at him. As long as it takes to destroy Drake before he destroys you. Riven closes his eyes. You don't know what you're starting. Yes, I do. No, you don't, because once Drake realizes you're protecting me, he won't just come after me. He'll come after you, your businesses, your reputation, everything you've built. Let him try. You're being reckless. I'm being deliberate. Riven opens his eyes. Why are you really doing this? Selim doesn't answer right away. He watches the highway stretch ahead, endless and dark. Because someone should have done it 6 years ago, Selim finally says, and if I don't do it now, it'll keep happening. Riven looks at him. You're not saving me, you know that, right? I know. Then what are you doing? I'm standing with you, there's a difference. The car drives through the night. No music, no conversation, just the hum of the engine and the weight of everything they're about to face. Riven's phone buzzes again. He looks at it, then shows Selim. A new message, same unknown number. Tell your billionaire hero that the card he just played, we already saw it coming. The safe house is in the Carolinas. No neighbors, no streetlights, just trees and silence. Selim hands Riven the business card, silver lettering, embossed, the kind executives recognize instantly. Riven reads it twice. His expression shifts from confusion to anger to something Selim can't name. You lied, Riven whispers. I hid, Selim corrects. There's a difference. No, there isn't. Riven's voice is sharp now. You let me talk about struggling, about working freelance, about barely surviving, and the whole time you were sitting on enough money to fix everything. I wasn't sitting on it. I was trying to figure out if you wanted me or what I could give you. That's the same thing to people like you. Selim flinches. People like me. Alphas with money. You think every problem has a price tag. You think throwing cash at something makes it love. That's not fair. Fair, Riven stands. His hand presses against his stomach. The baby kicks hard. You want to talk about fair? You've been testing me this whole time, playing broke, watching me struggle, and now you hand me a card like it's some kind of grand reveal. I was trying to protect myself. From what? From me. From the possibility that I might actually care about you without the money. Selim doesn't answer, because Riven is right. That's exactly what he was doing. I trusted you, Riven says quietly. I told you things I haven't told anyone, and you were lying the entire time. I was scared. Of what? Of being alone. The words hang in the air, raw, unfiltered. Riven stares at him. You're already alone. You built walls so high nobody can reach you, and now you're surprised when nobody tries. Selim looks away. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. Then what does? I don't know, but it's not money. It's not power. It's not whatever you think you can throw at this to make it go away. Riven walks to the other side of the room. His shoulders are tense. His breathing is uneven. Selim's phone buzzes. He ignores it. It buzzes again. He checks the screen. A message from his attorney. Drake just filed a defamation suit against you and against Riven. Claims you're conspiring to damage his client's reputation. Selim closes his eyes. He's escalating. What did you expect? Riven says without turning around. You threatened him, now he's hitting back. He can't win, we have evidence. Evidence doesn't matter when the judge is in his pocket. Then we find a different judge. There is no different judge. This is how the system works. People like Drake own it. Selim walks over to him. I'm not giving up. I'm not asking you to give up. I'm asking you to be realistic. Realistic about what? About the fact that you can't save me, you can't fix this, you can't throw money at it until it disappears. Then what do you want me to do? Riven turns around. His eyes are red. I want you to stop trying to be my hero and start being my partner. What's the difference? A hero swoops in and solves everything. A partner stands beside you while you solve it yourself. Selim nods slowly. Okay. Okay. Yeah, tell me what you need. Riven exhales. I need you to stop hiding. I need you to stop pretending you're someone you're not. And I need you to trust me the same way you're asking me to trust you. I do trust you. No, you don't. You're still holding back. You're still protecting yourself. Selim doesn't argue because it's true. His phone buzzes again, another message. Court date set, Illinois, 2 weeks. Selim shows Riven the screen. Riven reads it, that's fast. He's trying to bury us before we can fight back. Then we need to move faster. How? Riven sits down, opens his laptop, starts typing. I know someone who worked with Drake 5 years ago. She left the firm after something happened, something bad. If we can get her to talk, we might have a case. Where is she? New York, but she won't meet in person. She's too scared. Then we do it remotely. Riven nods, sends a message, waits. The response comes 10 minutes later. I'll talk, but only if you promise to protect me. Riven types back, we will. The video call connects. A woman appears on the screen, mid-40s, short hair, eyes that have seen too much. My name is Tanisha, she says. I worked as Drake's assistant for 3 years. I left in 2021. Why? Selim asks. Because I saw what he does to people, and I couldn't be part of it anymore. What did he do? Tanisha looks away. He specializes in erasure. If a client has a problem, an affair, a scandal, a lawsuit, Drake makes it disappear. Not through legal means, through fear. How? Surveillance, blackmail, threats. He builds files on everyone involved. Then he uses those files to destroy them if they don't comply. Does he have a file on Riven? Selim asks. I don't know, but if he's targeting him, then yes, he definitely does. Riven leans forward. What's in the files? Everything: financial records, medical history, private communications, photos, videos, anything that can be weaponized. That's illegal. It's also effective. Most people don't fight back, they just disappear. Selim's jaw tightens. Will you testify? Tanisha hesitates. If you can guarantee my safety. I can. You're a billionaire. You don't know what it's like to be hunted by someone like Drake. You're right, I don't, but I'm learning. Tanisha studies him through the screen. Okay, I'll testify, but you need to move fast. Once Drake realizes I'm talking, he'll come after me too. We will, Selim says. The call ends. Riven closes the laptop. This is really happening. Yeah. We're going to war with someone who destroys people for a living. Yeah. Riven looks at him. Are you scared? Terrified. Good, that means you're paying attention. Selim's phone buzzes. Another message. Same unknown number as before. You think you're protecting him, but you're just making it worse. Selim shows it to Riven. Riven reads it. They're watching us right now. I know. Then we need to move. Where? Somewhere public, somewhere they can't corner us without witnesses. Selim nods. Illinois, the court date. We go early, we prepare, we bring Tanisha, and we force Drake to fight in the open. He won't like that. Good. Riven stands. There's one more thing I need to tell you. What? The reason I agreed to the blind date. The reason I showed up pregnant, knowing you'd probably run. Selim waits. I was testing you too, Riven says. Someone told me you were different, that you cared about people, not just power. I wanted to see if it was true. Who told you that? I can't say, not yet. Why not? Because if I tell you now, you'll realize how deep this goes, and you'll walk away. Selim steps closer. I'm not walking away. You say that now. I mean it. Riven looks at him. The person who set up our blind date, they didn't do it to help either of us. They did it to see what would happen when two people who hide from the world finally stopped hiding. Who are they? Riven's phone buzzes. He looks at it. His face goes pale. What? Selim asks. Riven shows him the screen. A photo, Riven and Selim standing in the safe house, taken from outside, through the window, less than 5 minutes ago. The message underneath reads, "See you in court." The courtroom in Chicago is cold. Marble floors, high ceilings. rows of wooden benches that smell like old varnish. Selim sits beside Riven. His attorney is 3 seats down. Tanisha is in the back, hidden behind sunglasses and a scarf. Drake walks in like he owns the room. Tailored suit, confident stride. He doesn't look at Riven, doesn't acknowledge Selim, just sits at the plaintiff's table and opens a leather briefcase. The judge enters, everyone stands. The hearing begins. Drake's attorney speaks first. He paints Riven as a manipulator, a con artist, someone who targets wealthy alphas and uses pregnancy as leverage. He shows the articles, the photos, the video from Lowe's Angels. The judge listens, takes notes, asks questions. Then it's Selim's turn. His attorney presents the evidence: financial records showing Drake's illegal surveillance operations, testimony from Tanisha, proof that the articles were coordinated attacks, not independent journalism. The judge leans forward, asks Drake's attorney to respond. The attorney stands, smiles. "Your Honor, these allegations are baseless. My client operates a legitimate crisis management firm. The evidence presented is circumstantial at best." "Circumstantial," Selim's attorney counters. "We have documented proof of witness tampering. We have financial trails linking Drake to shell companies used for illegal surveillance. This isn't circumstantial. This is criminal." The judge holds up a hand. "I'll review the evidence and issue a ruling by the end of the week." Selim feels the air leave the room. A week, they have to wait a week. Drake stands, walks toward the exit. As he passes Riven, he leans in and whispers something Selim can't hear. Riven's face goes white. "What did he say?" Selim asks once they're outside. Riven doesn't answer. "Riven, what did he say?" "He said the baby won't change anything, that no judge will ever side with me, and that I should have taken the money when I had the chance." Selim's fists clench. He's bluffing. "Is he?" "The judge saw the evidence. She'll rule in our favor." "You don't know that." "I know we have the truth." "Truth doesn't win in courtrooms, power does." Selim stops walking. "Do you believe that?" Riven looks at him. "I've seen it happen too many times not to." They go back to the hotel. Riven sits on the bed, hand on his stomach. The baby kicks, he winces. "You okay?" Selim asks. "Just tired." "When's the due date?" 6 weeks. "You should be resting." "I'll rest when this is over." Selim sits beside him. "We're going to win." "You keep saying that." "Because I believe it." "Belief doesn't change reality." "Sometimes it does." Riven looks at him. "You really think we can beat him?" "I think we already did." "How?" "Because we exposed him. The articles are out there now. Tanisha testified. People know what Drake does. Even if the judge rules against us, the damage is done." Riven shakes his head. "That's not enough." "Why not?" "Because Drake doesn't care about public opinion. He cares about control, and as long as he has it, he wins." Selim's phone buzzes. A message from his attorney. "Judge issued preliminary ruling. She's requesting additional evidence. We have 48 hours." Selim shows Riven. "What does that mean?" Riven asks. "It means she's on the fence. We need something stronger." "Like what?" "Like Tobias." Riven goes still. "What?" "If we can get Tobias to admit what he did, on record, Drake's entire case falls apart." "Tobias will never talk." "He will if we make him." "How?" Selim pulls out his laptop, opens a file. "I had my team dig into Tobias's financials. He's been funneling money through offshore accounts to avoid taxes. If we threaten to expose that, he'll cooperate." "That's blackmail." "That's leverage." Riven stands. "I don't want to do this." "Why not?" "Because it makes us just like them." "We're nothing like them." "Aren't we? We're using fear to get what we want. How is that different?" Selim closes the laptop. "Because we're not trying to destroy him. We're trying to stop him from destroying you." Riven walks to the window. "I'm tired of fighting." "I know." "I'm tired of being hunted." "I know." "I just want to have this baby and disappear." Selim walks over to him. "You can't disappear, not anymore. Too many people are watching." "Then what do I do?" You fight and you win, and you make sure no one else has to go through what you went through. Riven looks at him. You sound like a hero again. I'm not a hero, I'm just someone who refuses to let this stand. Riven's phone buzzes, he looks at it, his expression shifts. What? Selim asks. Riven shows him. A message from Tobias. We need to talk, alone. Selim reads it, it's a trap. I know. Then don't respond. What if it's not? What if he actually wants to make this right? He doesn't, he's had 6 months to make it right. He's only reaching out now because he's scared. Scared of what? Of losing, of being exposed, of everything you represent. Riven sits down. What if I meet him? Absolutely not. What if it's the only way to end this? It's not worth the risk. Everything is a risk now. At least this way, I get to hear what he has to say. Selim kneels in front of him. Riven, please, don't do this. Why not? Because I can't protect you if you walk into a trap. I'm not asking you to protect me, I'm asking you to trust me. Selim looks at him for a long moment, then nods. Okay, but I'm coming with you. He said alone. I don't care what he said. Riven almost smiles. You're stubborn. So are you. They meet Tobias the next day, a cafe in downtown Chicago, public, crowded, safe. Tobias is already there when they arrive, tall, well-dressed, the kind of alpha who commands attention without trying. He sees Riven, stands, then sees Selim, his expression hardens. I said alone, Tobias says. And I said no, Riven replies. Tobias sits back down, Selim and Riven sit across from him. Why are you here? Riven asks. Because I made a mistake, Tobias says, and I want to fix it. You can't fix this. I can try. How? Tobias pulls out a folder, slides it across the table. I'm willing to testify against Drake, to admit what I did, to take responsibility. Riven stares at the folder. Why now? Because I'm losing everything anyway. My family cut me off, the trust is gone, and I realize the only thing left is the truth. Selim opens the folder, reads the documents, his eyes widen. What is it? Riven asks. He's confessing, everything, the other omegas, the payments, the surveillance, all of it. Riven looks at Tobias. Why? Because you were right, Tobias says. This child deserves better than being a secret. Riven's eyes fill. I don't know if I can forgive you. I'm not asking for forgiveness, I'm asking for a chance to make it right. The cafe hums around them, people sip coffee, laptops click, the world moves forward, indifferent to the reconciliation happening at this table. Selim's phone buzzes, a message from the judge. Ruling postponed, new evidence submitted by plaintiff. Selim shows Riven. What does that mean? Riven asks. It means Drake just played his last card. Tobias leans forward. What did he submit? I don't know, but we're about to find out. They go back to the courthouse. The judge calls an emergency session. Drake's attorney stands. Your Honor, we've submitted new evidence that proves Mr. Solis has been manipulating multiple wealthy individuals over the past 2 years. We have financial records, communications, testimony from alleged victims. Selim's attorney stands. Objection. This is a last-minute fabrication designed to. Overruled, the judge says. I'll review the evidence. The room goes silent. Riven looks at Selim. This is it, we're losing. No, we're not. How do you know? Because Drake just made a mistake. What mistake? He assumed we wouldn't have a counter. Selim stands. Your Honor, we have new evidence as well. A full confession from Tobias Harrington, admitting to conspiracy, witness tampering, and illegal surveillance conducted by Drake and associates. The judge looks up. Submit it. Selim hands the folder to the bailiff. The judge reads, her expression shifts. She looks at Drake, then at Tobias, sitting in the back row. Mr. Harrington, the judge says, is this confession voluntary? Tobias stands. Yes, Your Honor. And you're willing to testify under oath? Yes. The judge closes the folder. I'm issuing an immediate injunction against Drake and associates. All harassment of Mr. Solace will cease. All defamatory materials will be retracted, and I'm referring this case to the state attorney for criminal investigation. Drake's attorney tries to object. The judge silences him with a look. This hearing is adjourned. The room erupts, reporters rush to their phones. Drake storms out. Tobias sits down, head in his hands. Selim turns to Riven. We won. Riven doesn't respond. He's staring at the judge's bench. His hand is on his stomach. Riven. We didn't win, Riven says quietly. We just survived. The injunction holds for 3 days, then everything falls apart. The state attorney refuses to prosecute. Drake's connections run deeper than anyone anticipated. Judges, prosecutors, people who owe favors. The criminal investigation stalls, then closes. Selim sits in his Tribeca penthouse, staring at the rejection letter. Riven is beside him, 8 months pregnant now, moving slower, breathing harder. They're not going to charge him, Selim says. I know. He's going to walk away. I know. Selim stands, paces. This isn't over. Yes, it is. No, I can still. Selim, Riven's voice is firm. Stop. Stop what? Stop trying to fix this. Stop trying to win. We did what we could. Now we move on. Move on, he destroyed you. He tried to erase you. And now he just gets to walk away. Yes, that's how this works. That's how it's always worked. Selim's fists clench. I can't accept that. You have to. Why? Because I can't keep fighting. I'm tired. I'm pregnant. I need to focus on this baby, not on revenge. Selim stops packing, looks at him. What do you need? I need safety, real safety, not courtrooms, not legal battles, just a place where I can have this baby without looking over my shoulder. Selim nods slowly. I can do that. How? I know someone who specializes in protection, not legal, not public, just quiet, effective safety. It's who? His name is Malik. He's not exactly legal, but he's loyal, and he owes me. Riven studies him. You're talking about the mafia. I'm talking about protection. That's the same thing. It's different when you don't have other options. Riven looks away. I don't want to live in hiding. It's not hiding, it's surviving until we can do more. And when will that be? I don't know, but until then, this is the best I can offer. Riven's hand moves across his stomach. The baby kicks hard, he winces. Okay, Riven says, but I need a promise. What? No matter what happens, this baby stays mine. No custody battles, no legal claims, no alpha dominance games. I promise. Say it like you mean it. I promise, Riven, this baby is yours, always. Riven exhales, okay. Selim makes the call. Malik answers on the second ring. I need a favor, Selim says. You always do. This one's different. They always are. Selim explains. Malik listens without interrupting. I can do it, Malik says finally, but it's going to cost you. Name the price. Not money, a favor, down the line when I need it. Done. The protection starts immediately. Malik's people are professionals. No uniforms, no obvious security, just presence. Watchers who blend into crowds, who notice threats before they materialize. Riven feels it, the shift, the weight of being monitored easing into the weight of being protected. I hate this, Riven says one night. I know. I hate needing this. I know. But I'm grateful. Selim looks at him. You don't have to be grateful. Yes, I do, because you're the only person who stayed. The words settle between them, not romantic, not grand, just true. Weeks pass, the baby's due date approaches. Riven moves to Austin, Texas. Quiet city, warm weather. Malik's people set up a safe apartment. Clean, simple, no luxury, just what's needed. Selim visits every weekend. Sometimes more. They don't talk about Drake. They don't talk about Tobias. They just exist together. One night, Riven asks the question he's been holding since Boston. Why did you really start the blind date test? Selim doesn't answer right away. He's learned that silence is sometimes the most honest response. I was afraid, Selim finally says. Afraid that no one would want me if they knew who I really was. So I built a system to prove they wouldn't. And then I got exactly what I expected. Until me. Until you. What made me different? You didn't need me. You didn't want my money. You just wanted to be seen. And you wanted the same thing. Yeah. Riven shifts on the couch. His hand presses against his lower back. I need to tell you something. What? The person who set up our blind date, the one who told me about your test. Who was it? Tanisha. Selim goes still. What? She knew about you, she knew about Tobias. She knew Drake would come after me, and she thought if you and I met, we'd both have a reason to fight back. She used us. She gave us a chance. It's not the same thing. Isn't it? Selim stands, walks to the window. The Austin skyline glows in the distance. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Because I wanted to see if you'd stay without knowing. And now I knows you will. Selim turns around. What else are you hiding? Riven looks at him. Nothing, that was the last secret. You're sure? I'm sure. The baby kicks hard, Riven gasps. You okay? Selim asks. Yeah, just active tonight. Selim sits beside him. Can I? Riven nods. Selim places his hand on Riven's stomach, feels the movement, the life inside. This is real, Selim says. Yeah. I'm terrified. Good, that means you're paying attention. They sit in silence. The city hums outside. The world keeps moving. And for the first time in months, neither of them is running. 3 weeks later, the baby comes. Early morning, Austin Regional Hospital. Riven's water breaks at home. Selim drives him. Malik's people follow at a distance. The delivery is long, painful, but safe. 12 hours later, a baby cries for the first time. Riven holds the child, a boy, small, perfect, alive. Selim stands beside the bed. He's beautiful. Yeah. What are you going to name him? Riven looks at the baby, then at Selim. I don't know yet, but I'll know when it's time. Selim's phone buzzes. He ignores it. It buzzes again. He checks the screen, a message from an unknown number. Congratulations, but this isn't over. The father is closer than you think. Selim deletes it, turns off the phone. Everything okay? Riven asks. Yeah, everything's fine. But it's not fine, because Selim just realized something he should have seen months ago. The person sending the messages, the person orchestrating everything, the person who knew too much too soon. It wasn't Drake, it wasn't Tobias. It was someone else, someone who's been watching from the beginning, someone who's still watching now. And Selim doesn't know who they are, but he's going to find out. The truth comes 6 weeks later, not in a courtroom, not in a hospital, in a coffee shop in Baltimore, Maryland. Selim is there for a business meeting, routine, forgettable, then he sees her. Tanisha sitting alone, watching him. He walks over, sits down without asking. You've been following me, Selim says. I've been protecting you, Tanisha replies. From what? From the truth. Selim leans back. What truth? Tanisha pulls out a folder, slides it across the table. The real reason I set up your blind date with Riven. You already told me, you thought we'd fight back together. That was part of it, but not all of it. Selim opens the folder. Inside are photos, documents, records. His breath catches. The photos show Riven, but not pregnant, not in Boston, in Maryland, 2 years ago. The documents show an incident, a car accident, late at night. Riven was the victim. Someone pulled him out of the wreckage, called 911, stayed until the ambulance arrived. That someone was Selim. I don't remember this, Selim says. You were drunk, you just ended things with Simon. You were driving home from a bar, you saw the accident, you stopped. Why didn't Riven tell me? Because he didn't know it was you. You gave the paramedics a fake name. You left before they could ask questions. Selim stares at the photos. How do you know this? Because I was working for Drake back then, and one of his clients was the driver who caused the accident. Drake made the whole thing disappear, but he kept files, and I kept copies. Why are you telling me this now? Because you deserve to know that you didn't meet Riven by accident. You saved his life 2 years ago, and he saved yours when he walked into that cafe in Boston. Selim's chest tightens. Does he know? Not yet, but he will, because the driver who caused the accident, it wasn't random, it was Tobias. The heir leaves the room. Tobias tried to kill him, Selim asks. Tobias was high, he ran a red light, he didn't know Riven was in the other car, but when he found out later he panicked, hired Drake to cover it up, and when Riven got pregnant, Tobias realized the past was catching up. That's why he left. That's why he tried to erase him. Selim stands. I need to tell Riven. Not yet. Why not? Because Tobias is dead. Selim freezes. What? He died 3 days ago. Car accident, same intersection, same time of night. That's not a coincidence. No, it's not. Selim sits back down. Who killed him? Drake. He knew Tobias was going to confess everything. The accident, the cover-up, the other Omegas, so he eliminated the problem. Can you prove it? I can, but not in court. Drake's too connected. The only way to stop him is to expose him publicly. Let the world see what he is. How? Tanisha pulls out a USB drive. Everything is on here. The accident, the cover-up, the murders, all of it. Why are you giving this to me? Because you're the only person with enough power to make sure it matters. Selim takes the drive. What about you? I'm disappearing, for good this time. Will you be safe? As safe as anyone can be when they're running from someone like Drake. Tanisha stands. Tell Riven the truth, all of it. He deserves to know that the person who saved him 2 years ago is the same person standing beside him now. She leaves. The cafe returns to its rhythm. People ordering, people laughing, people living lives untouched by the war that just ended. Selim drives to Austin. The apartment is quiet. Riven is on the couch, baby asleep in his arms. Hey, Riven says softly. Hey. Selim sits beside him. I need to tell you something. What? 2 years ago in Maryland there was an accident. You were in it. Riven's expression shifts. I remember. Someone pulled you out, stayed until help came. I never knew who it was. It was me. Riven goes still. What? I was the one who saved you, and I didn't know it was you until today. Riven stares at him. How is that possible? I gave a fake name. I left before they could identify me. I was trying to stay invisible. You saved my life. And you saved mine when you walked into that cafe. Riven's eyes fill. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything. The baby stirs, opens his eyes, looks at Selim. Riven smiles. I know what to name him now. What? Hope, because that's what you gave me, twice. Selim feels something break open in his chest. Not pain, not fear, just love. 3 months later, Selim releases the files. Not to prosecutors, not to lawyers, to journalists, to activists, to people who can't be bought. The story breaks. Drake's empire collapses. His clients abandon him. His firm shuts down. He's arrested on multiple charges: conspiracy, witness tampering, accessory to murder. The trial takes a year. Drake is convicted, sentenced to 25 years. Justice isn't loud, it's quiet, precise, and earned. Selim and Riven move to a house outside Austin. No penthouse, no marble floors, just space, light, a backyard where hope learns to walk. Luxury still exists in their lives. A Louis Vuitton bag Riven gets for his birthday, an Apple tablet filled with photos of hope, a Tesla for long drives. But these things don't define them anymore. They're just tools, accessories. What defines them is the choice to stay, to be present, to build a life where power protects instead of destroys. One evening, Selim and Riven sit on the porch. Hope is asleep inside. The Texas sky is wide and full of stars. Do you ever regret it? Riven asks. Regret what? Meeting me, fighting Drake, all of it. Selim looks at him, not for a second. Even when it cost you everything. It didn't cost me everything, it gave me everything. Riven leans his head on Selim's shoulder. I'm glad you stopped that night. Me too. The stars shine, the world keeps turning, and two people who once hid from everything finally found the one thing they couldn't hide from. Each other. Wealth can amplify choices, but character determines direction. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's the gateway to connection. And justice is most powerful when it protects dignity instead of ego. Selim stopped pretending to be broke, Riven stopped apologizing for existing, and hope, innocent and unaware of the battles fought for his safety, became the bridge that transformed dominance into devotion. There is no cliffhanger, no unresolved tension, only a quiet understanding that love built on honesty outlasts power built on fear. And the final truth, revealed in the last breath of this story, the first time Selim met Riven wasn't in a cafe in Boston. It was on a dark road in Maryland, where a stranger's kindness saved a life, without ever knowing that life would one day save him back. That's the power of being seen, not for what you have, but for who you are when no one's watching. Subscribe and turn on notifications for more stories that inspire. Share your thoughts in the comments about what this story meant to you. And remember, every act of kindness, no matter how small, creates ripples that can change everything. Share this story to inspire others. Your support keeps these stories alive.